Hi everyone, Az here from HeelvsBabyface. We are talking about an old friend today, and when I say old friend, I mean garbage. Diablo Immortal. Remember those two words? Yes, you do. Well, yesterday it was brought to my attention that there is some thing going on, possibly. Now, there is an article up here that was written March the 1st of this year. So March, April, May, June, and now 7 days into July. So 4 months, 7 days ago. Decent period of time. A third of the year. Yeah. And it says in an earnings call from NETEASE that Diablo Immortal from NETEASE's side is all done. Is all done. It's now just in the hands of the marketing, which is going through Activision Blizzard, Blizzard Entertainment, whichever one it's actually going to go through. But they said that the game is ready and now just kind of like in their hands. So there was a Mandarin message given, reply given, and there's a translation to it, and then there was an English answer given. Now, the Mandarin reply that was translated went, with regards to the launch of Diablo Immortal, we will announce a market launch date simultaneously with Blizzard. But on our side, development is already fully prepared and invested. I definitely believe there is no issue from the side of development regards to the launch date. So NETEASE is saying, we're done. We're going to synchronize launches, China and probably rest of the world, obviously, with Diablo Immortal, but we're just waiting on their decision. Remember, this was written on March the 1st. And then the English reply, they phrased it this way. Diablo Immortal, we are the co-developer on that game together with Blizzard. As to the exact launch timetable, I would encourage markets. Remember, this is still their way of translating it to English. So they're speaking English, but translating it from Mandarin in their own heads, if you get where I'm coming from. To direct the question directly to Activision Blizzard, as from a co-developer's perspective, the game development is pretty much ready. Of course, there is always be space for us to optimize and enhance, but it is not any concern that the development side will cause any potential delay. So they're saying we're ready. You know, if they want us to tweak anything or optimize anything, we can do that, but we're done. March the 1st of this year. So how long was it ready then? Don't know. It could have been ready, finished the last week. It could have been finished the last month. It could have been finished in February. It could have been finished in January. What we do know is 4 months and 7 days have now passed since this time, and no mention whatsoever of Diablo Immortal. Now, first and foremost, I don't want that to imply that there's anything wrong or bad or anything like that. It could simply be that they have a plan for when they want to release it. It's a mobile game that's allegedly been built from the ground up. Talk about that very briefly in a moment. So, you know, probably not that much involved when you really think about it, how quickly they've managed to bang this out. And so they could be thinking, right, let's launch it maybe BlizzCon of this year. You know, hey, welcome to BlizzCon. Diablo Immortal's come out today. Download it right now on your phone that you needed to come into BlizzCon. Because that's the only way you're getting into BlizzCon this year. If you've got a phone. True story. You need to have a phone to get into BlizzCon this year. But of course, we know all the controversy that surrounded Diablo Immortal. The flop at BlizzCon, flop of an announcement at BlizzCon, which then triggered Alan Adam to threaten the WoW community by saying we're pulling the best developers onto mobile projects. Our best guys aren't playing PC anymore. They're playing mobile. We're committed to China. It was just like, oh my God, he's literally just telling everyone at BlizzCon to fuck off. And then was it last week, the week before, J. Allen Barak comes out and says, oh, we do want you to know that we are committed to PC gaming as well. A little bit late. A little bit late on that one, Jay. And then, of course, there was a lot of concerns about the game because, as just mentioned, Activision said this is a game that has been developed from the ground up purely for this game, Diablo Immortal. However, there was another game made by NETEASE called Endless of Gods. Yes, that is the name. Endless of Gods. And there was another one, and there were quite obviously the same animations taken from that. So there were concerns that this built from the ground up game might not be so built from the ground up. You know, China, honest as the day is long, never counterfeited a thing. Counterfeited? Never did anything counterfeit in their lives. Never see anything like clone games, or that was the word I was struggling to say yesterday in yesterday's video, clone. You never see clone games or ripped off products, or maybe me buying a Geralt statue from eBay that came from China, and when it arrived, it was the biggest broken fake that you've ever seen in your life. And when I tried to send it back, had them begging me just to keep it. Begging me just to keep it. We'll give you... I'm not going to do impressions. I nearly got into trouble last time for doing impressions. My impression, by the way, last time when I was doing the Diablo Immortal, it was the guy from, what's it called? Phone Jacker. You want DVD? Because he was a swindler. Never mind. So yeah, they were begging me. They didn't want it back. They were begging me. So they ended up giving me a refund. I ended up giving them negative feedback and sticking it in the bin. So it worked out all ways. But you know, that's China. So yeah, to say it's built from the ground up and then mimicking existing animations and stuff, we'll see. But the game that it was actually taken from, Endless of Gods, apparently didn't do very well. Well, it's a difficult one to actually quantify. It didn't review very well. That's the best way to stress it. But you don't know how that translates financially. You don't know how that translates, or at least we don't know how that translates in terms of actual numbers downloaded. But recently, there was another game from NetEase's rivals, Tencent, and Tencent are bigger than NetEase. NetEase and Tencent are like the two big boys when it comes to Chinese game development. And Tencent released their Diablo Immortal Challenger, shall we say? And apparently it's bombed in China, but it hasn't. Now, all these headings are really kind of like misleading. You've got to try and read between the lines. Now, the game, again, has not been received particularly well. There's been a lot of criticism on the comment section about the game, stressing that it's been very poorly optimized in terms of getting gear, that you have to just you can funnel ridiculous amounts of time into the game and get nothing out of it. It's constantly trying to push you to buy. Now, I absolutely 100% believe that can be true. Having this week played EA mobile games, and that was just literally log on, store, buy our stuff, store, buy. I've done 1 minute of gameplay. Don't matter. Buy our stuff. Buy. You want a better team? I don't know because I've only played a minute. Doesn't matter. Buy it. $100. Buy it. Absolutely disgusting. And so I can believe that would be the case, that it's really funneling you through. And remember, after BlizzCon of last year, when there was the huge outcry because of it, NetEase tried to smooth things over in China with the shareholders going, you know, everything's cool, everything's great. Look at our working relationship with Blizzard. And posting a picture of them working side by side with Blizzard in a meeting. The meeting where they were telling Blizzard how to monetize the game. Somebody went and translated the board, the PowerPoint presentation that the guy was giving, and they were telling Blizzard how to monetize Diablo Immortal. You couldn't have written it any better. A movie couldn't have scripted that any better. It was hilarious. But this has not been received well with people. However, it has become the biggest downloaded game. It was the biggest downloaded game. So a lot of people have grabbed it. I'll link this article in the description down below so you can go check it out. So a lot of people have grabbed it, but again, how does that quantify into money? How does that quantify into people who are sticking with the game? Is it any fun? All that sort of stuff. So there's just a couple of things. Does this, like I said, first of all, it doesn't mean that Blizzard are concerned. It doesn't mean that the game's bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I ain't touching it with yours. You know what I'm saying? I ain't touching it with nobody's. I ain't going nowhere near it. It can stay on mobile and rot for all I care. But, you know, it could be a good game. You know what I mean? And they are just plotting the optimum moment for when they want to release it. Or it could be that they are slightly concerned about these games, especially with Endless of Gods not being well received, with this not being well received, although heavily downloaded. And after all, Blizzard couldn't care if everybody complained about the game as long as they were spending money, as long as people were downloading it. That's all they want at the end of the day. But they might be strategizing about when to put it out at a more optimum time for them. But this could be... But what is interesting is it's finished, according to NetEase, their partner. It's been finished for months. And Blizzard have still got it. And they're still sitting on it. For whatever reason. So feel free to go wild with speculation in the comment section down below. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumb up your bum. Also, subscribe to the channel and follow me on social media. Tweet links and stuff from the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.